Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by outsourcing around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. So when you buy from American Giant, you're taking a stand for hardworking people, local communities, and quality clothes. American Giant directly supports American manufacturers and ensures you aren't footing that tariff bill. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
The Murder Shelf Book Club contains disturbing content related to real-life crimes. Listener discretion is advised.
Murder Bookies. Surprise! I have a Christmas special update for you on a previous case that we've explored. In episodes 40 to 44 on Bone Deep by Charles Bosworth and Joel Schwartz, we met Russ Faria, indicted for the murder of his wife, Betsy Faria, in 2011. After 3 years in prison, Russ Faria was later granted a second trial and, thankfully, acquitted. All while Pam Hupp, who certainly appeared to be a suspect to me, was virtually ignored by law enforcement. And former prosecutor Leah Askey Cheney still refuses to admit any failure or wrongdoing on her part. Later, Pam Hupp shot Louis Gumpenberger to death in her convoluted plot to frame Russ Faria for assault or attempted murder or something. Pam pled guilty at the Gumpenberger trial and sentenced to life in prison. She was later indicted by new prosecutor Mike Wood for Betsy Faria's murder. Now, prosecuting attorney Mike Wood also began an investigation into the investigation, assigning Detective Randy Lambert. All right, so how had all this come about? What went on here? Well, Santa Claus came early, and this was just reported in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, on NBC News, and a bunch of other sources. The former Missouri deputy, Mike Merkel, 42, was charged with photographing and sending threatening texts to Detective Lambert, who's investigating him for misconduct. So this is basically first-degree harassment and second-degree stalking. Lincoln County court records show that not only has Mike Merkel been charged, but also his wife Becky and his brother Kevin Merkel, who is a drug enforcement agent. So what allegedly happened? Remember, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. These are only charges. The prosecutor alleges that Mike and Becky Merkel followed and photographed Detective Randy Lambert while he was at dinner on March 14th at a Texas roadhouse in Wentzville, Missouri. Later that evening, the detective allegedly received texts and photos of himself at the restaurant from a masked number, which read, quote, "I have video of you drinking and getting into your county car. We are watching you closely," end quote. And another, quote, "You should stop throwing stones at glass houses or yours will come down first and fast. Here's a couple of pics for starters," end quote. All right, I have to believe that the motive here is to derail the investigation and to have Lambert find no misconduct. What else could it be? Troy Police Department cooperated with Lincoln County to obtain video from the restaurant, according to the probable cause statement, which indicated surveillance footage shows Mike and Becky Merkel taking photographs of the detective's vehicle that night. Charging documents reveal the texts were sent using a number masking app from a phone issued by the DEA to Kevin Merkel. Court documents read, quote, cellular records plainly show Kevin, Mike, and Becky Merkel were acting in concert and collusion to photograph, video record, and threaten the victim with releasing the captured media, end quote. Now, Mike Woods told Dateline, who has followed the case from the beginning, quote, the level of arrogance associated with this type of action shocks me. I'm also surprised there was involvement of a federal agent, end quote. I agree. This was kind of surprising. Wood also says, quote, we take this seriously because I'm not going to tolerate people blackmailing my investigator. We had always suspected that there was corruption involved with the sheriff's office at that time. And this particular instance reaffirms our belief that these people were willing to do things that are criminal in nature in order to continue to cover wrongdoing that occurred in the past. The legal term is a consciousness of guilt. And what I would emphasize is that you don't blackmail people for no reason. You blackmail them because you did something wrong, end quote. I heartily agree with Mike Wood, and we learn a great deal from people's behavior. Dateline reached out and contacted the attorney representing Mike and Becky Merkel, and he said he had no comment at this time, and Dateline was unable to reach Kevin Merkel for comment. I did look around. So far, they haven't said anything. Prosecuting attorney Mike Wood also investigated whether Detective Lambert was under the influence when he drove home that night and found no impairment. All right, you can get all the details on this crazy case by listening to Murder Shelf Book Club, episodes 40 to 44. Merry Christmas, Murder Bookies. I'm thinking of you and your families. Hey, stay warm. It's awfully cold, too. You can email me at jill@murdershelfbookclub.com or find me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Check out my blog and my merch store on Spreadshop. Source material, show notes, photographs, information are found on my blog at www.murdershelfbookclub.com. Written and produced by Jill, all rights reserved.